Uncle George always liked his liquor, so no one realizes he already has a drinking problem. For her part, Martha was a teetotaler all her life until she was widowed and began to take a drink to sleep better. Now, no one realizes she needs a couple of drinks to get through the day. Hey, how you doing? In this channel we care about our elders, but when it comes to alcohol, the truth is that anyone, at any age, can have a problem. The fact is that it can go more or less unnoticed in the environment. As in the examples mentioned, the issue is tricky, people are reluctant to acknowledge our failures, and even in the health system it is often overlooked. Unless there is evidence of damage, when it is already late. In the case of older people, even alcohol problems can be confused with balance problems that we often associate with age. Aging means facing situations that can be the gateway to an addiction. Retirement is a critical time, because up to that point consumption may have been limited by work, but when that restriction disappears, willpower may not be enough. Depression, anxiety, a change of residence, physical pain, disability, serious illness, or the loss of a loved one are all factors capable of triggering alcoholism. And the problem can occur without even increasing the dose, since the liver does not work as effectively as it did when young, and the person may become dizzy with the same amount he or she was consuming. Whatever the circumstances that drive a person to drink, in the case of an older person, there are specific reasons to try to reverse the situation. This is because it logically increases the risk of falls and fractures, but also the risk of some types of cancer, liver damage, immune system disorders and brain damage. It also worsens the prognosis of osteoporosis, diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, ulcers, promotes memory failure, which could be confused with Alzheimer's, and affects mood. It can even make it difficult to diagnose a serious heart problem because alcohol causes changes in the heart and blood vessels, and can mask pain that warns of a heart attack. But how do we know that we are dealing with alcohol abuse? Well, there are some commonly accepted limits, which are 1/3 of a liter of beer, a glass or cup of wine, a combined distilled drink a day, or 7 drinks a week. This is just a guide. But another clue that you have a problem with alcohol is that you often exceed your intended drinking level on each occasion, and your attempts to quit or reduce your intake have failed. Another important clue is the deterioration of family relationships, as well as those with friends or neighbors. Alcohol abuse is behind not only domestic and car accidents, but also many cases of domestic violence. And what can we do about it? Well, the first thing is to assume that we can't make a person face a drinking problem. We can only offer support, and get it, if we have to deal with the issue closely. When talking about the subject, we must avoid labeling, pointing out, or embarrassing. It is easier for our message to get through if it is not perceived as an attack. In other words, instead of saying you have a drinking problem, it is better to say, I am worried about you drinking. I would like you to see this information. Can I go with you to the doctor? If the person starts treatment, we can provide support. For example, by offering to drive them to and from treatment and by cultivating activities and interests that do not involve alcohol. At the same time, you have to take care of yourself, talk honestly about how you feel, and if necessary, seek support from friends, family, or even specialized groups. Anyway, I hope that what I have said here is useful and does not sound like a sermon. Thank you very much, and see you in the next video.